Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic, that is arrow functions. So let's get started. What exactly are arrow functions? The topic for this session is arrow functions. You see, why I'm covering this before explaining what exactly are arrow functions in JavaScript, okay, before explaining that, you need to understand why I'm covering this particular topic here. If you remember, in the last session, I covered part one methods that we can use with arrays. Okay, what are the different methods? There are a lot of methods that you can use with arrays. And I didn't cover the entire methods that you can use with arrays. Rather, I covered only few basic methods that you can use with arrays as part of the part one. What about the part 2 and part 3? I didn't cover that for you. The reason behind that is to understand the remaining methods that you can use with arrays, we need to have the knowledge of these arrow functions. Without having the knowledge of these arrow functions, you cannot understand how to use other methods with these arrays. Okay. The part 2 and part 3 methods that you can use with arrays, you cannot understand. So before going to that array methods, part 2 and part 3 topics, you need to understand the arrow functions. And to understand these arrow functions, you should have the knowledge of these functions that I have covered in one of the previous sessions here. The traditional functions, okay? Here, when I said functions means it's traditional functions. How do you write the traditional functions? So these are arrow functions, right? These are arrow functions. Otherwise, okay, just let me do one thing. These are arrow functions, okay? I'll just moving these arrow functions to the right side here. These are arrow functions, and here I'll be writing the traditional functions. I'll just write traditional functions. Okay, what is the difference between the arrow functions and traditional functions? Traditional functions are, kind of lengthy in code, whereas arrow functions are shortcut or short representation, shortcut syntax for these traditional functions. You don't have to write so many lines of code. In a single line, you can complete an arrow function. Okay, so I'll show you one example. If I want to add two numbers, I want to create a function which can add two numbers. I can write like this function, add two numbers, and the circular bracket starting of the function, ending of the function, and here you can have any number of parameters like this, and here you can write the code. Right here you can write the code, return a plus b or whatever it may be. Okay, this is a traditional function. The similar one, okay, this is a traditional function, right? I can create a shortcut representation, shortcut syntax for this traditional function, or shortcut way of writing this traditional function in a single line with the help of something known as arrow functions. Okay, how? Here, what is the name of the function? Add two numbers. First, I need to create something known as, I have to use a let keyword for declaring this function. Here I'll not be using the function keyword, I'll be using the let keyword that I generally use for declaring the variables and all those stuff, right? Objects and variables, etc. Right? The same let or const you can use for creating this function here. What is the name of the function? Add two numbers is the name of the function. You don't have to write circular brackets and all those stuff. Just give the name of the function here after the let keyword. If you want to convert this traditional function into the arrow function, first you have to write the let keyword or const keyword followed by the name of the function here without circular brackets and say is equal to, and after that you have to write the circular bracket, and inside circular bracket what is there? Parameters are there, a comma b. Okay, a comma b parameters are there. After that what I have to do? After that I have to write, I don't have to write this like in multiple lines. I can complete this. Now these are the parameters of this particular function. Just write like this: greater than symbol, sorry, is equal to greater than symbol, and here we have the starting of the function, ending of the function. Right? You can write like this in a single line only. You don't have to write in multiple line. Curly braces. Inside the curly brace, what is there? Here written a plus b is there, right? I'll just write a plus b. That's it. That's enough. You don't have to write more than that. Okay. You can write like this, a plus b or something. You can write like this. Okay, so this is a format, guys. This is a format. These things are optional. If only one line is there, these curly braces are also optional. You can simply write a plus b. This is enough. This is how you can convert this traditional function into an arrow function like this. Okay, you can see the, now you can convert, you see here, 1, 2, 3 lines along with spaces, 5 lines are taking here only one line. Here, how do you call this function? The same way. Add two numbers and I'll pass 5, comma 4, 5 comma 4. Like this, I'll call the function, and this function will return use some the addition of this a plus b, that is 5 plus 5 will go into a and 4 will go into b when I call this function, and 5 plus 4 is a 9. That will be returned back to the function calling statement that I'll store into something known as a result or r, whatever it may be. And then if I say console dot log of r means the result 9 will be printed in the output. Okay, you need to call this function. Similarly, how to call this arrow functions? The same way, guys. Okay, the traditional way that you call this traditional function, the same way you will call this arrow functions also. But only the difference here is this traditional function is in multiple lines, whereas arrow function is only in single line. How to call this function? Again, the same thing. Let r result, whatever you want, right? Add two numbers. Okay, numbers and circular bracket. I need to call this function like 4 comma 3 or 4 comma 3 or whatever it may be. 4 will go into a and 3 will go into b, and 4 plus 3, that is 7, will be returned and stored into this will be returned back to the function calling statement and will be stored into this r. And then you can write console dot log of r. Here 7 will be printed in the output. Same way, these two lines are same, but here traditional function has been converted into arrow function. Multiple lines of the function got converted into a single function here, single line, okay, with the arrow functions. Shortcut syntax will be there, okay. Here, traditional function has a lot of lines of code to be written, but here you can write in a single line, okay, fine. So a lot of things are there for you to understand about the arrow functions, okay, that I'm going to cover practically in this session. So I also have some notes with me. I'll be using that notes as a reference and explain you all the concepts about the around the arrow functions for you. Hope you got the understanding of the concept. So here I'll open the arrow functions related reference notes here. Shorter syntax. Okay. The traditional function has good number of lines, but if you want a shorter syntax, you can go with the arrow function. Okay. The same function represented like this. Here const or let can be used here, and the name of the function can be used here is equal to the parameters. Okay. Like this, and the calculation, the whatever the result you want. Okay, what the function need to return, that you can write here. Okay, whatever the function you want to return, that expression you can write here, the function will return that. So like that, many things are there, guys. Okay, a lot of examples are there here. I'm going to start with simple examples first, and then we'll go for the detailed ones. Okay, so here I'll just write arrow functions.js. Okay, so one JavaScript file I created for demonstrating the arrow functions for you. First, I'll write it traditional function. Function add to numbers is the name of the functions, and traditional function will have circular brackets followed by the function name. Starting of the function will be starting with the curly brace, and ending of the function with the ending curly brace. And here I'll be writing add to numbers, right? Here I'll be writing, like this. Parameters I'll give first, okay? You can have any number 0 or any number of parameters here, like a and b are the parameters here. And the function need to write like this, a plus b. The result of this a plus b can be written here, okay? Now, how to call this function, the name of the function, and inside the circular brackets, I need to give the arguments, okay? These are the parameters. I need to pass the arguments like 5 comma 4, okay. So when 5 will go into a and 4 will go into b, and 5 plus 4 will become 9, and that 9 will be returned to the function calling statement. The returned value I'll be storing into r result or something, and then would like to print r. Then if I run this code, node space, if I run this code, node space arrow hyphen functions dot demo, functions dot js, sorry, dot js. If I run this code, what will happen? This function calling statement will call the function and pass 5 into a and 4 into b. This is a traditional function. You already have the knowledge of this. A plus b will become 5 plus 4. That is result is 9. The 9 will be returned back by the function to the function calling statement. That returned value will be stored into the variable and printed here. Okay. So 9 should be printed in the output. You see 9 got printed in the output. Now what I'll do here is I'll keep these two lines as it is. I'll not change any of this. Fifth and sixth lines I'll not change. This function, traditional function, I'll write a shortcut syntax for that using the arrow functions. I'll write the shortcut syntax. Arrow functions are the in JavaScript offer a shorter syntax for writing functions. Okay. Shortcut way I'll write the functions. This function I'll write in a shortcut way using this thing. So how to convert this traditional function into shortcut function? First, I need to use a keyword like let or const, and then I need to give the name of the function here without circular brackets, then is equal to. After is equal to, I need to give the parameters, circular brackets, surrounded parameters I'll give here. After that, I just need to write greater than, sorry, is equal to greater than. And then here I can also write like this, okay, curly braces. And here I can copy this statement and paste it here. That's it. This is how you can convert this traditional function into a arrow function. Can you see the difference here? Let here function keyword is not used. In traditional function, we use a function keyword to create a function, and the function name will be immediately followed by circular brackets with parameters and starting of the function. Remaining everything is here, curly brace and everything is there. But only the thing here is here function keyword won't be there, let keyword will be there. The name of the function will be given here like a variable is equal to, then what are the number of parameters surrounded by circular brackets should be given. And then here we need to give is equal to greater than symbol, and the remaining part need to be written in a single line. Okay. Now this one is not required. You can remove this and run this code. Again, you got the same output. This how you can convert a traditional function into a arrow function, which has a shorter syntax. Okay, shorter syntax compared to the traditional functions. In a single line, you can create a function. Now, when you have only one line, one statement is there, then you can remove this curly braces here. Remove this curly braces here. You cannot use a return keyword, guys. When you anyhow by default it will understand. Okay, by default it can understand you are returning the result of this a plus b. So curly braces can be removed when multiple statements are not there, and you don't even have to write the return statement because automatically a plus b will return the sum of this a and b will be returned back to the function calling statement here. You see, this is how simple you can make it more better. Okay. So if I run this again, I got the same output. I don't have a return keyword. I don't have curly braces like that. Fine. Now what if I don't have any parameters here? What if I don't have any parameters here? What I will do here? Here I'll write something like this, uh, console.log hello. When you call this, I'll just print hello here. That's it. Okay. This particular statement is not returning anything, but it is printing hello text. When you call this function, I'll change the name of the function here. Uh, say hello. Say hello. Okay. I'll just simply say hello here. I'll simply say hello. When I say hello, I just need to call this function, right? Say hello function. Okay. So here I don't have to pass any arguments here because zero parameters are there. And what will happen? I don't have to store into something or something, as simple as this. You see, this is a function calling statement which is calling this function. When you call this function, the code inside the function will be executed. That is console.log hello will be running and hello will be printed in the output. You see, hello got printed in the output. Fine. And there is a possibility that this particular function can have one parameter. Okay, let's say a is there, and I just need to print the value of the variable a here. Okay, I just need to print the value of this variable a here. So how to do this? I just need to pass some value here, like say hello of 5 or something. 5 will go into this variable a parameter, and the 5 will be printed here. Okay, you see 5 got printed here as it is. Simple. Okay, and if you simply write a also, what will happen? If you write a here, what will happen in this case? The say hello function will be called and 5 will be passed to the a, and 5 will be returned back to the function calling statement. Here you have to write something like this. Let r is equal to, or result is equal to console.log sorry, let me write it again. Console.log r console.log r clear, and then you see 5 got printed. Okay, here what happened? I'm calling the function calling statement, and then 5's argument is passed to the single parameter, and that is nothing but 5 will be written back to the function calling statement. Here only is means 5 will be written back to the function calling statement, that is stored into R, and then same 5 got printed. What if I say a asterisk a? Then what will happen? In this case, what will happen, guys? 5 will pass it to a, 5 is a 25, 25 will be written back to the function calling statement, and R will be when you print R, 25 will be printed. Okay, you can do anything. You can do anything. And of course, here, if only one parameter is there, you don't even have to write the circular brackets. When you have either zero parameters or multiple more than one parameter, you can write circular brackets. You can write like this also. You can write like this also. Okay. So now run this, the same output you will get 25 you got, okay? Without circular brackets, so also you got. If there is only one parameter, you don't even have to mention circular brackets. You can make this arrow function as simple as possible, okay? Here are some notes for your reference, guys, okay? This traditional function has been converted like this. And then, no parameters, you can write like this. One parameter, you can write like this, already explained. Multiple parameters, you can write like this, okay? So then, if you have multiple statements, okay, then you can write like this with curly braces. You can write. I told you, right? If you have multiple statements, okay, in the traditional function, if you have multiple statements, then again, I'll just change it back to a comma b here. Two parameters are there, and here, what I will do here is I'll say let c is equal to a plus b. Some two statements I want to write. After that, I want to write let c is equal to a plus b, okay, let c is equal to a plus b. I need to, you see here, errors are coming. The reason behind that is when you have multiple statements here, return c, I'll say here how many statements are there? Two statements. Only one statement, not a problem. But if multiple statements are there, what I have to do, I have to surround this with curly braces like this, okay? I have to surround this with curly braces like this, okay? Then it will be okay. Return c means it will return back here I have to say 5 comma 4. Then what will happen if you have multiple statements in this arrow function, then you have to write curly braces. Otherwise, only one statement is there. You don't need curly braces, and even you don't need a return keyword also. I just mentioned right already. Okay, so like this, lot of varieties are there here. So you'll get the answer as 9. Okay, 5 plus 4, 9. So hope guys you got some idea about this arrow functions in JavaScript, okay? How to convert the traditional function. If you want to save the number of lines and write a shorter syntax, the people tend to write, they don't want to create a detailed function sometimes, okay? They want to write these functions in a single line. So this is a way, okay? You convert the traditional functions into the arrow functions and there are other way all the other things I covered here. Okay, the important things I covered here. When you have to use a curly braces, when you don't need the circular brackets, when you have only one parameter, you don't need circular brackets. Whether you put it or not doesn't matter. When you have zero parameter, circular brackets are required. When more than one parameter are there, compulsory circular brackets are required. And you here return statement is not required. X plus y will be automatically returned back to the function calling statement. If you write the return keyword, again you have to surround with curly braces and all. Okay, so a lot of things are there, guys. Okay, a lot of things are there regarding the arrow functions, and this is how you need to understand the arrow functions for this point of time. Okay, so since you have now understood what are arrow functions, now you can understand the other methods of the arrays. Okay, the other methods that you can use with arrays as part of part 2 and part 3. I may be using this arrow functions concepts. If you don't understand these arrow functions, you will not be understanding the part 2 and part 3 methods that we can use with arrays in the next sessions. Okay, so go with these arrow functions first and then go to the next sessions, okay, accordingly. So guys, that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.